Here.
Okay, we got all 6 members, so we have 100% attendance, appreciate that. Item 4 is the approval, we've got 2 sets of minutes, and we probably need to do these separately, so, the regular meeting of May 13th, 2024, you have a copy of that in your packet. So need you to make a motion, and
I move that we accept the minutes from the meeting, for May 13th, held at 5:30 PM.
okay?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any question, discussion, or correction to those minutes? I think there had been an indication from, I think it was Councilmember Henderson, that we wanted to put a little bit more information. Help me, Councilmember, which,
B1.
B1, I believe, we'll put the right wording in there, but I believe he had, in his presentation, he had indicated that he believed that if we went with the Municipal League Insurance Trust Program, that we could possibly be, hit with, some, surcharges, yes, I believe, however he worded it. And we need to check on all that and everything. He believed that was the case, so we will add that to it without objection. Just add a sentence there of kind of what he said. I was supposed to do that before tonight, and I didn't get it done, my apologies, but I did remember it. So, we will add that to it, just what he said. So we'll go ahead and ask, any other discussion, correction, or addition, or anything. With that addition, I'm gonna take that with the motion, with that addition, that be added to those minutes. All in favor of approval, show of hands. I see that you both get 6 in favor, thank you. And then you've got, the called minutes of May 30th, 2024, and they're in there also for review.
I move that we accept the minutes from the May 30th, 2024 meeting held at 5 PM. It was a special call meeting.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Is there any question, discussion, correction, anything to those minutes that anyone has or notices? Okay, all those in favor, show of hands, please. I see 5 in favor. Councilmember Henderson, you voting yes?
I showed the reaction because I didn't think you were seeing my.
I was trying to watch out for my eye, I'm sorry, but, thank you. That's 6 in favor, okay? So the minutes are, both sets of minutes are approved. And we'll go to the city clerk now, item 5, and go over our various financial reports, starting with the city financial statement.
Statement of revenue and expenditures. Administrative was $181,354.17. Law enforcement was $911,624.51. Fire was $502,468.05. Sanitation was $440,439.59. Building codes is $10,371.92. District court, $48,963.68. Municipal building was $3,767.52. Recreation, $95,111.34. Cultural center, $1,619.03. The armory was $5,298.52. Shooting range, $21,629.12. Senior citizen center was $4,570.30.
Okay, that's the first thing we need to deal with, council members, you have that with you.
I move that we approve the, statement of revenue and expenditures as presented by the city clerk.
It's an appropriate motion, is there, and seconded by Councilmember Mosley. Now, is there any question or discussion on the financial report? All in favor, let it be known by show of hands. I see 6 in favor, thank you. Takes care of that, and then just go ahead, you got your other.
You have your cash balances are in the packet. Let's see, okay. City sales and use tax for the city side, it was $90,100.99. And for the county, the part we got from the county was $60,310.92.
It's just for information, and then you got the county, district court
Yeah.
information, which they always submit to us from the court, just again for your information. Does anybody have any question on any of the financial reports? I know it takes a little bit of time to look over all that. I know some of you already had it, for a little while, but, if something else comes up even later, please let us know, we'll try to get you an answer for anything you need to know. Okay? All right, we'll go to item 6, mayor's report. I just want to give an update to the, council on our effort to get the, new city flag, or, figure out what we want to try to do with the city flag. The school, I guess it's the East Loud, if I'm using the right terminology, are working on that, and they intend to, they've already sent us a little bit of information, but we're gonna get it back out to y'all to look at. They got several different suggestions, is what it comes down to, and ultimately y'all gotta approve how you wanna do this. And then, of course, we can have flags maybe, but right now, we're talking about the design, what it looks like, and the colors, and what's on it and all that. So, we will have something for you in the very near future, on that to consider. I also wanted, I could have put this, I guess, under the street, department report, but I just thought I needed to probably give it. I think I told most of the council members already, but just for everybody's information, the $300,000 grant we got way back last year was awarded to us. This is a state grant program for streets, and the city council had approved, I think it was 3 different streets or parts of some streets for that money to be used on. Now, in this particular case, the state of Arkansas, highway department handles all of it. They bid it out and the whole bit, and, get the work done, and then we get the money to, pay for it. And, they bid it out back, sometime latter part last year, and they didn't like the bids they got. And by the way, they didn't just bid ours out by itself, they combined it with, I think, some projects in Drew County and they, I don't know where all, but anyway, they didn't like what they got. So they decided they'd rebid it, and they had notified us of that some time back, and said they would try to get it out to bid this summer. Well, I got a notification from the highway department, just not too long ago, said they're gonna rebid it, every money's still there, January of 2025. Now, why they're waiting that long, I don't have a good explanation for you. I asked, and I was just told, well, that's when we need to do it. And maybe a bid letting they're having, or something with other things. So I just want everybody to know, those 3 streets are still on the list, on the schedule, and we should still have the money to do them once we get it bid out. And the highway department again is doing that. So I just want y'all to know, I'm sorry, but it's just one of them things. We can't, we gotta do what they say. So anyway, those are 2 things I just wanted to report on. Alderman, do any of y'all have anyone that you wish to recognize tonight that you already know you need to recognize? I know we had to sign in sheet, and we'll check that, but if any of y'all have anybody. All right. Okay, Miss Janice Rochelle. I'm sorry, the podium's kind of stolen from us, but if you just walk up here, wherever you want on to here where they can hear you good. And just for the record, tell us who you are. We know you, but tell us who you are.
Janice W. Roche.
That's what I would have introduced you as, but anyway. Go ahead, you have the floor.
I always want to give God all the honor and glory, and I want to thank our great mayor for what he's doing for this city, and I thank all you great aldermen. However, we have had some issues in the area that I live in. I know Warren is looking bad all over, but right now I just want to address the area that I live in. There were letters, certified letters sent out to different landowners over in my area, and everyone complied to those letters except for Mr. Billy Reddick. He has 10.3 acres across the street from where I live, 821 South Wright. And his letter, his response was that that was a pasture, but there are no animals on it, and he is in violation of ordinance 936, section 1. It's grass, he said he cuts it once a year, that is hay. If you all ride over, Ms. Mosley, you know, I'll pick you up, and you can go over and look. Mr. Tofree is aware of it. Ms. Marsh and our great mayor came by today to see that there is no hay on that property. It is overgrown, well over 10 inches. It's a mess over there. I've had to kill a snake in my yard, and I had to set a trap to catch mice that we normally hadn't had any problems. But from experience from my old residents, as soon as they cut, field rats, snakes. So I'm asking y'all if you would just do whatever it needs to be done for Mr. Reddick to clean up his property at 822 South Wright Street and 826 South Wright. That belongs to Billy and Janice Reddick.
Thank you, man. It's actually on the agenda here, so that's gonna be talked about again, but I'll let you go ahead and make your comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you for
We
your time.
appreciate you coming. Reverend Rochelle, do you need to say anything?
Yeah, I need to say something.
Yes, sir. You prayed, you earned the right to come say something, absolutely. And you can say something anyway, but, you're recognized.
Okay. First of all, we'll get unto God. Thank God for allowing me this opportunity to marry the city of Warren, Mr. Reed, and the council as well. I have a question, a problem with the street that I live on. And I know Virginia Dunn has been talking about it. And 13 Avenue, holes in the street, concrete breaking up. And I'm trying to find when the city wants to do something about it.
I know there's a drainage issue over there on, I believe, Meadowview, which we've been, yeah, but now you're talking about which street are you actually? Meadowview, okay, you're talking about the actual street itself, okay?
He stayed right across the street from Virginia Dunn.
Yeah, yeah. But I did want to report, and this is probably a good time to do it, you know, that we all had approved us getting a right of way on private property, letting water out to the north end of that. That is being worked on. We were trying to get the right of way. We had to get a survey done. That's just the water issue now, is all I'm talking about, okay? So he's talking about not only that, I think, but, you know, just some other needs on the street, so. We'll
fix the drainage before we
yeah.
can fix the street.
But we are working on the drainage issue, but we'll certainly, that'll take into consideration.
Got one more thing too.
Yes, sir.
On the back of where I live at, the ditch belongs to the city.
Okay.
And the city don't keep that ditch up. It grew up. Now, I mowed it last year with my Exmark. I kept it down, but that water still
That's
standing.
behind your house.
That water still standing. And on the other end down there, it grew up.
It's no street, it's a right of way between that and Pierce.
Right.
I'll double check on that, so
I appreciate it.
that's a maintenance issue we need to tend to, so we'll check on that. Thank you, sir.
So thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Okay, council members, I'm gonna try to keep this moving, and, y'all stop me if you need to for anything. We're on item 7, administrative standing committee reports, police chief, Sean Hilder. I did not see you when I walked in, so I was making sure you were here, chief. You have the floor, you just have to kind of lean up there.
Good evening.
They have your written report.
Yes, and you guys have my monthly report for the month of May in front of you. Which pretty much, once again, details the, police department's activities. There's really not too much to point out. We had some significant training last month, right down to our weapons qualifications for all the officers on their, firearms and their alternative, rifles. So we're just continuing to protect along. New vehicles, like I said, I think I announced that last time. New vehicles aren't on patrol. And I'm just cut back on our mechanism a little bit for the other vehicles, so. Business as usual.
I got a question about when I was looking through y'all are busy in May, huh? But I looked at the driving on suspended license, there were 15 citations given. Are they for not paying tickets, or do you know, or like previous?
It can vary. It can be anything from not paying your child support, can be from previous tickets, not paying the whole fine. There's several different reasons why you can have a driver's license suspended. So it's not listed wide, but there's several different reasons.
Okay.
Other questions?
Seems like to me, I recall in the Delta plates, that there's been a, increase in the counterfeit $20 bills.
Yes, sir.
You have any update on that?
Yes, well, we have that issue with that this past month. With the counterfeit $20 bill, we did put out a, information letter to all the businesses in town and a newspaper release. That's just something that, it's not really what a counterfeit, but it's that movie money. It's kind of, has different dimensions of the, regular $20 bill, but it looks just like a $20 bill. The only difference that it has, it actually marked on there for, I think, movie industry use only or something of that nature. But it's in fine print, so they use it when they make music videos, movies, things like that. You can order them offline.
You all right.
Order what amounts to money that looks real, but I mean, it's not illegally printed, but it's, and then people then try to use it
Right.
because they don't know or because they do know.
What's happening, the individual just take it, it's not no part of theirs, they're not paying attention to the money. But like I said, in the fine print on the bill, on one side of the bill, it does read for movie industry use only.
Is it on the front or the back?
So I'm only on the back.
So I need to turn them off?
Yes, ma'am.
I suggest everybody check their money, so,
And don't have that little
What do you
bag.
do if you have a deal like that?
Well, if we can find out who actually passed it, then we can charge them with forgery, pass the counterfeit bill. And, normally we have to turn them all over to the Secret Service, and they want all counterfeit bills. Now, the movie industry bills are not considered counterfeit bills, because like I said, they're a little bit bigger, but you really have to pay close attention to them.
I just wondered if I had 20 and I called you and turned it in, am I out 20?
probably.
You know what
I don't know, something about that just don't seem right, but anyway, I mean, I can see people doing it and not even knowing what they're doing, because somebody else has, paid them with it or something like that, but.
And I'll be honest with you, I haven't done the research on it, but I'm quite sure, like, to order it offline, you don't get it from America, it's coming from overseas, and
Of course
it's
it
a
is.
little bit more now, as far as American currency.
Alright, well, I guess the moral of this story to everybody is pay attention to your money. When you're giving change or, anything like that, pay attention to it, look on that back, see if you find anything that looks different than, so you notify the police department if you do, okay?
If he ain't doing good, he won't do any good with it.
Yes, ma'am.
It will?
Yes, yes, yes.
I gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah. My goodness, always something in it.
What I suggest is, when you go to the grocery stores, they mark the money when you pay them, when you mark the money, you give it back.
Here I come.
Thank you for the update, Chief, that's,
Thank you, Chief.
No problem.
any other questions for the chief? I think we got one member in the audience want you to check our money right now, so you might go back here and check it out and see. Okay, I'm sorry, Alderman Henderson, you had to holler at me. Go ahead.
I was just looking, in your packet,
in your packet.
Well, we have two, we have a stationary radar log and then a radar log.
Okay, that's basically, one law was where you guys has asked for us to patrol and like to curb the little speed in residential areas, and the other law is just the regular law, we will keep them enforced.
When we've received specific information from council members or somebody else maybe that we just.
So we know this is right.
Like the Oak Street.
Right.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Pennington, other places. He's trying to show you what they're doing on those that have been brought up, but that doesn't mean it's the only place we work the radar, of course. Other questions? All right, Chief, hang on just a minute here. Councilmember Birch Frazier, the police committee, you got two things on your agenda there. Don't know that the first one's ready to do anything with, but I'll let you give your report.
It's not, we, sent a couple of, or maybe a month ago, the mayor sent the dispatch study that was done to the municipal league to get their input, and we're waiting on that input to be sent back, and then we'll meet as a committee. We did meet the police committee met, June the 6th, right after our agenda meeting, to discuss the, dispatch study, and then the livestock ordinance, which we have tonight to, up for a vote, and we'll do that in a minute. And then we started talking, it's not on the agenda, about homelessness, the amount of, items that they have, mental health, what they have, like if something happens, who takes care of them, and Warren isn't the only city that's having to deal with this right now. And so, mayor's gonna ask Mr. Spain, is that how you say, is it Mr.?
Frank Spain.
Frank Spain, to come and address the city council to see if the police can't arrest somebody simply for walking down the street, unless they're nude, but still, okay? So, and that's been done.
And we've had to deal with it too.
So, but somebody walking down the street nude obviously has something else wrong, and putting them in jail for a night and then sending them right back out is not helping them, and it's not helping the community. It's not a waste of resources, but we've talked about also how much time and resource the police department put into repeat offenders that once they get them in, then there's nothing that can be done, and they just have to let them out. So if the mental health problem, and I'm not saying all homelessness and all crime is linked to mental health, but there is a huge correlation. But if the mental health aspect is not helped or treated, it's in and out constantly. And then, we have citizens that say, I've never seen so many people on the street, sleeping on the streets at night. Well, you can't arrest somebody for sleeping on the street. You can't arrest somebody for sleeping on church steps. But what led them? Is it a mental health issue? Some people, that's the way they choose to live. But we're gonna get Mr. Spain and get his opinion on, the police aren't trained to deal with somebody mental health issues. The criminal aspect is what they're here for. So, once the police get somebody and they obviously know there's a mental health issue, what happens next? Chief Hildreth did say, there's some that they can the word's not suggest, but request a mental health evaluation, but then when they get out or get through with whatever, they're coming back here, they don't take their medicine, or they feel, something happens and then they're right back. So what do other cities do to address the mental health problems that they have in their city? And it's not just homeless that have mental health. There are a lot of people have mental health issues that the police, I'm sure they get repeat calls. But I just want everybody to know that we're aware and we're asking questions. And, there's no homeless shelter in South Arkansas that I'm aware of. not one in Monticello, not one in Crossett, not one here. So, I mean, what do you do? But we're aware, and the police we're asking questions, and that's all we can do until somebody gives us a help or answers on what, can be done. Because I have citizens calling me, about certain things that, and we've told them, you've gotta, you can press charges if they come on your property, well then they're gonna lose everything that they have. Well, we gotta do one thing at a time. I don't wanna see anybody hurt either or lose everything, but, the public safety and then the offenders' safety, well-being, both of them have to be our concern. So, that's another thing that we talked about. So what came out of that, again, Mr. Spain is gonna come, address the city council and we can ask him questions, what's being done in South Arkansas.
I might add, in case anybody don't know that's listening, Frank Spain is our district prosecuting attorney, and that's why we're not.
And then the mayor suggested if that doesn't work, the next rung up the ladder is the state representative. We spend a lot of money taking care of people in our community. So, we wanna see that money well spent, and help people, that's the main thing, okay? And then,
Question.
yes, sir,
On the state level, don't they supposed to be addressing that, the mental health issues, and doing certain things and putting monies out there?
they are in bigger cities right now,
Okay.
is what I've seen.
Well, there are programs. The trouble is, we're dealing with people out there on the street. If I could just add I won't spend a bunch of time on this, but if they're not in violation of the law in some other way, and we got people that are just setting up tents and homemade tents, I'm talking about, just going on vacant property, going into vacant houses that no one's living in. They just move in and stay there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they tend to make a big junkyard out of the place very rapidly in a lot of cases. And, we have dealt with a lot of these folks. We've talked to them. We've tried to go to the property owners where they are technically trespassing. Some of them are willing to do something to try to run them off, but then they just go somewhere else if, some permanent solution's not dealt with it. And of course, a lot of these people will not voluntarily submit themselves to substance abuse rehabilitation or mental health. And that's probably the bigger problem we're having. How do we go about handling that? We gotta get some of these folks before a court who will mandate and see that they're, if they've got a problem, if they've got a substance or a mental health problem. And I'm telling you, if you talk to any of them, there are some issues there in most of the cases. Because I've gone out and talked to them, some of them. And, they'll spend a couple of minutes sometime, mostly they'll be carrying the Bible around and they'll preach out of it a minute and then give you a good cussing out of it the next. You just know things aren't the way they should be. And, we've got people trying to camp out in the alley behind Main Street over here. And, we actually ran one off, just told him he was blocking the alley. Set a homemade tent up. I'm just giving y'all an example. We told him he had to move. He said, I'll just move somewhere else. You can't do nothing about it. Now, we hadn't caught him stealing. We haven't caught him, with drugs or anything like that. I'm just giving y'all an example of what we're dealing with. And the police cannot just go out there and wholesale shuttle them into a van and haul them off somewhere. We can't do that.
Well, you're not breaking the law sleeping on the
Yeah.
street,
But it is causing a lot of issues. Fear is one of them.
Yeah.
But also, I can't tell you some of them haven't been stealing things either. The biggest thing we have with them is going through garbage. Not just dumpsters, they'll go through your sacked up garbage.
I thought we talked about one time, partnering with the hospital or, Delta counseling, mental health,
But how do we get them there?
That's true.
Delta counseling is available to anybody,
But you gotta go.
but we can't go pick them up and haul them over there and, you know, force them to
And then
attend
if there's
or,
a situation where
Yeah.
the police is involved, as have a mediator come kind of
Yeah.
talk a person down.
well,
If they're suicidal or something, we don't know.
that hasn't been the big issue. The big issue's been just landing wherever you wanna land, just homestead it.
I mean, I know of instances where groups and people have actually paid up rent and everything for them to have a residence, and they turn that down.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Mhm.
Some of these people are eligible for public housing.
They don't-
Some of them are drawing checks.
They don't-
Disability, social security, different things. I'm not saying all of them, but I know some of them are. And yet, I can't, I've actually tried to get a couple of them, you know, get a public housing, if you're eligible, go check that out, and, cause that's based on your income. They stay in some of them for practically no rent. And either they've got some kind of criminal record that prohibits them from, you know, being allowed to live there. Some of them got some pretty bad criminal records, a lot of them do not. I'm not, chief, if I say something wrong, you correct me. But we've been talking about this, and I know I'm taking too much time, but I appreciate, Councilmember Burks Frazier raising this, because I know y'all all get hit with this. And, you know, what do we do? If we can't arrest them, the property owner, if the property owner does have them, you know, kicked off for trespassing, all you can do is give them a ticket. They don't show up for court, or if they do, they're not gonna pay a fine. This is one of those problems that there's gotta be a hardcore solution to. Now, I don't think we've got hundreds of these people in Warren, but we got more than we used to. And some of them's got family in Warren. They won't stay with their family, or their family don't want them. I've had a couple of them tell me that. So, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take
But
so
you're
much
fine.
time.
I know everybody's had a lot of or say, have you seen how many, no, I hear it daily, have you seen how many people are walking the streets? Have you seen, you know, so many with shopping carts and blah? Yes, and the police are aware of it, but that's not against the law, you know? So, I mean, it's not just, and I'm not labeling, like I said a while ago, homelessness, mental health, one, same basket, but a lot of times mental health led them to being
Or
homeless.
substance abuse.
Or substance abuse.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just want the city to be aware.
Well, I want our people the people in the
Right.
community to understand. I mean, they see what's
Right.
going on.
We're not turning a
I
blind
wanna make sure they know why,
Right,
what's going on, and we're trying to figure out what we can do.
right,
And, most of these people need help. They need to be, you know, getting some kind of treatment, be somewhere in a structured. But some of them's just, I mean,
I mean, some people choose to live like that, that's their choice, and that, they wouldn't, like you said, they don't wanna go. But that's,
anyway.
okay,
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't
You're
mean to hold the time there,
You're fine.
council member, but this has been on all of our minds, I know.
so the next thing that we, are gonna move on tonight is ordinance number 953. It's an addition or an amendment to the current animal ordinance that we have in the city limits of Warren. This deals with the large and small hooved animals, okay? So I place number,
Hang on a minute now, y'all gonna have to, I failed to go back and look, remember again, I think we had this on its third reading
We
already,
did.
did we not? But you're gonna need to do an amendment first of all, because
Okay.
it's been changing some since
Right.
then, just ever so slightly. And just adopt this ordinance that you've got here as the amended version, do that first.
okay, so I move that we adopt ordinance number 953 to
As
amend,
amended.
as amendment to the current, ordinance number 207 and 835.
Second.
All right, got a motion second. Everybody, I didn't make that too complicated, did I? Because this has been a few minor things changed from what you originally had on the first, second, third reading. So that would put it, y'all help me remember if I'm wrong about that, I think I'm correct. Okay, I did go back once and look, but it's been a while now. All right, you got the motion to make this ordinance, that's proposed ordinance that you got here, amend the one you already had on for third reading and vote on that. This don't adopt it yet, this just makes this the ordinance that we're dealing with.
Right.
Okay, any questions? Got a motion and a second, all in favor of amending the ordinance as presented, show of hands. Okay, all right, I do think, as if we've read it 3 times already, the motion would be to approve it as amended. I think it would be appropriate, it's not that long, to make that motion, then let me read it
Okay.
again, because it is a little different than the previous one. So if I get a motion for adoption and a second as amended, then I'll read it, and then you can discuss it and vote on
I move that we adopt the amended ordinance
it.
953 with the mayor reading it through one time.
Okay. Is there a second? You got a motion, second. Okay, let me read the ordinance now, and then you can discuss it, then you can vote on it however you see fit. This will be proposed ordinance 953, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 207 and number 835 governing owning and maintaining livestock in the city limits of Warren. Whereas the city council of Warren has determined that no person shall keep, harbor, or maintain, care, custody, or control in the city limits of Warren of any small or large hooved animal or animals without first obtaining a permit issued by the city of Warren building official and subject to the following. Now therefore be it ordained by the city council of the city of Warren, section 1, owners of small and or large hooved animals must apply for a permit from the city of Warren building official's office to allow for the animals to be maintained within Warren city limits. No animals in place at the time this ordinance is adopted are to be grandfathered in. There will be no charge to secure a permit. Section 2, prior to the permit being issued, the city of Warren building official will visit the site where the animal or animals are to be maintained and inspect the site to ensure city regulations will be adhered to. Section 3, it shall be unlawful to keep small or large hooved animals in pen, lot, yard, pasture, home, or commercial building that is within 25 feet of any residence or business other than the residence of the livestock owner or business establishment owned by the livestock owner. Section 4, if a permit is denied, the applicant may appeal the decision to the Warren Planning Commission by written notice within 30 days of denial of the permit. Section 5, all existing nuisance and noise ordinances remain in effect, and any violation is grounds for legal action to remove the animal or animals regardless if the distance requirements are in compliance. Section 6, ordinance number 207 and ordinance number 835 are amended in accordance herewith, and all parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 7, the following animals are prohibited within the Warren city limits: swine, roosters.
Which has always been that way.
And that's no change. And we've got some issues with the roosters, I think, but not aware of the swine. Section 8, all animals that are legal within the city are to be maintained in a humane manner with regard to food, water, and adequate shelter. That's it. So you've got a motion and a second to adopt it as amended. And you've heard it read in full. There's no emergency clause, so this would have to be published and then, be 30 days for it to go into effect. Are you ready to vote? Any question or discussion of adopting the amended ordinance? All in favor, show of hands, please. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. None opposed. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope that didn't get too complicated, but, a lot of work went into that, and we'll make sure we had it right. All right, anything else, Councilmember Burks Frazier?
That's all from me.
Chief, you're now dismissed. Thank you. All right, Fire Chief. Fire Chief's out there. Chief, they've got your monthly report, and they've got, I think, an update on your, some of the properties that we're waiting to see if we're gonna get any money from the insurance companies. And I won't talk about that just a minute, you give your report first.
All right, we responded to 7 calls during the month, that should say May. We had one come out, which was a house fire on Boyd Street. Our volunteer payroll was $1,077.50. We had our monthly meeting and training on May 6th. Training burn on Scott Street. Maintenance, everything was pump tested, 3 pumpers and a ladder truck and everything passed, so we're good for 1 more year.
Let me first see, do you have any questions on his report? I wanted to address the report on the, where we're trying to get money per our ordinance from the insurance companies that cover it. Anybody got any question on anything else? Okay, Chief, what I want to ask, you got the list there, we got, I don't know how many, so 7 or 8 of them, and you got settled or pending. Now, my question to you, and we may have talked about this before, but I want to make sure I'm clear. Once there's been a fire and they got insurance, who do we check with first? Who do we send a notice to that they owe us money?
We send it to the homeowner. The letter states plainly it is for them to turn into their insurance.
Okay, but we do not notify their insurance company.
I try to, when some of them come to me,
We're not in writing or any way notifying the insurance company.
it goes to the.
I think that
homeowner.
question has come up from, some of the council members, should we not be doing that? In addition to the owner, but should we not be doing that? Am I stating correctly what's been brought up in the past?
I think we probably need to get that ordinance out and see what the ordinance says and make sure we're.
We probably should.
But
We follow what
it
the
is a
ordinance says,
specific
yes.
ordinance, I can't remember the number right now, but that's what we need to do, is make sure.
Well,
we're
we
doing
can do that, and I have not done that
what the
lately,
ordinance
so I need
says.
to go back and look at it myself, is what it says. But we wanna make sure we're trying to collect our money.
Well, when I got there, they already had a form letter, and it says based on ordinance number, whatever, I can't remember that ordinance number, but you, the homeowner, you do not owe this, your insurance company owes this, is what the letter says, and please give this bill to your insurance company.
Let me see if the council's got any questions about this, or what you prefer us to do.
What happens when they don't have home insurance?
Nothing, they don't get it.
What
It doesn't
happens-
cost the person any money.
Right, it's strictly for the insurance company.
A vehicle fire, which is not at their residence. Who do you send the letter to?
We get their physical address and give it to them,
Not the address
not
of
the
the fire
address of the
occurred.
fire, no ma'am. That right there shows you the address of the fire, not the address where the bill went to. That's just give you the location of the incident.
What I'm asking the council, do y'all want us to start sending this to you? You know, we'll have reports when they have insurance, we know if they do or not. We don't know if they're gonna pay or not, but we know they got insurance, if they do. Some insurance companies do this, some don't.
Well, and one of those, in fact, this one on Boyd Street, his insurance, and I talked to the guy, his insurance was just for his mortgage. It was not a structural fire policy, it was just to cover pay off his mortgage if something was to happen.
Other than us spend the whole night talking about this, probably what I need to do is go back and read the ordinance, me and the chief, make sure we're following exactly what the ordinance says us to do. But there've been some comments made that maybe we're not going about trying to collect in the right way or best way. I wanted to see if there was something else we could do, like notify the insurance company or something like that. Even to find out if they'll pay or not.
have to notify them.
Yeah.
Cause I know if it does come across my desk, you can't, a lot of, they're not gonna.
And there's certainly a possibility that some people, even if they got insurance coverage, that they just simply won't submit that, because they don't want them to pay out any more money.
They're not gonna submit it.
So that's something we gotta look at administratively, and I wanted to bring that up.
You refer to committee.
Okay, all right, Chief and I will talk about that, see what we need to do. Do y'all have any other questions on anything in the fire department? Councilmember toll free, I don't think we had anything pending from the
Nothing
committee,
this
so
time.
unless you know something we forgot.
None at this time until we come up with the ordinance on
Thank
what
you.
we're doing on that.
All right, I think we're ready for the, sanitation manager, building official. Mr. Johnson? Hey. Let's do sanitation first.
Okay. Everything's going good, we still one short as far as part-time thrower. All the equipment's doing good. We're expecting about 2 weeks having the loader truck in, the new one that y'all approved. We were able to remove two dumpsters in the city, to get to where we just come out and pick them up instead of having dumpsters in the way. And they did a little over 40 hours of paper, picking up paper, not on the route, but in the ditches, this past month also.
Y'all happen to have a particular street you want us to pay attention to, it'd be good if y'all just get that information to the mayor's office and we'll try to make sure that gets worked. Anybody got any questions from, for the sanitation manager, from, talking about the solid waste system, the collection and disposal? Councilmember Atkins, you got a couple of things there, but I think you're probably waiting on stuff there on that.
Right.
Seems a few things you've already authorized and be working on the recycling, we're trying to get that geared up, if you wanna make any comments, or?
Yes, we did not meet, so we have no, items, to report, but I do want to publicly thank Mr. Johnson and, Mr. Adams and Mr. Dwayne that assisted with our first annual Calls for Pink Tomatoes this weekend. They were great help. The kids did a good job, I believe, throughout the city. So hope you thank him for his support and his assistance with that. We did talk about the truck, he's been looking, hasn't found anything yet.
No.
So, no, we have nothing to report.
Well,
Just
the
congratulations.
recycling things that you've, already authorized us to pursue, we're working on that, there is some recycling money, that we hope we can get enough to kind of get us started with some of the stuff we're already working on doing, so we'll keep you informed on that as it happens. And, as he said, we're hoping that what we call the grapple truck, the new deal that can just grab all this junk and limbs and stuff like that, which we think will substantially increase our speed of getting that kind of stuff done, on a regular basis throughout the city. Hopefully that'll be in very shortly. Anybody got any other questions on solid waste? All right, let's switch gears to the building official. I think you've got a,
Y'all got a copy of the permits that were done this month. Any questions on those, I'll be glad to.
not sure what order some of that's in, but there's one that says made permits, you see that, that's the one he's talking about. Okay, and the one that says month end made,
Yes, sir.
okay, now that is a list of properties we're working on to clean up.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the numbers out here at the side? Number 936, those are the ordinance numbers that they're being cleaned up under,
Right. Yes, sir.
okay?
They're not available under the NA, you see those are just, we talked to them on other matters, it's not necessarily ordinance matters. People brought to our attention that they wanted us to go by and just mention some stuff on some property. Just to let you know, so far this year, 2024, we have sent out
are rejected and refused. I can't tell you percentage, but a lot of them are. It comes from the city, they just won't accept it.
Well, how many is that?
They're $8 a letter.
No, but how many, about approximately, what percentage are we getting
Oh,
back?
how many back?
No, how many letters? I
Oh, I'm sorry.
teach English, not math, so.
I don't have any idea, she just gave
So,
me that.
8 divided by 16 is,
What is that, what is that, 60, 61? No, more than that.
The professor's got the
You
calculator
just send
going
them out
over
one
there.
time?
88.
88?
alright, so close to 100. So let me ask this question, because now we've had, since I've been here, 2 complaints about pastures or undeveloped property, right? And I recall we had a gentleman come and ask permission or requested he rezoned from residential to commercial. So is that something that needs to happen as well with this undeveloped or pasture property? If it's in a residential area, or does it maintain it?
Well, a pasture's a farming operation, and we really don't know that we got zoning for farming.
But if it's in a residential area, like,
There has been some, and, where there's big pieces of property that,
but now if there's residents around it, it's a residential area, like on South Myrtle. You got a house on one side, you got a house on another, you got a pasture right there in between.
that what does our zoning law say about pastures?
It doesn't
There's
specific-
probably not anything in there about farming
There's nothing
or
specific.
pastures.
So is that some action that we could
We
take?
might need to look at that.
Cause if this keeps coming up and it's a problem,
We have several pasture areas that are going to meet this school ordinance, and we got animals that's going to have to be addressed. What I'm getting at is you've got some private property here, you've got a pasture here, and a fence. The ordinance states 25 feet, so they're going to have to come in and leave the fences there and put another fence up to separate the 25 feet. So, yes, we probably do need to look at something like that.
cause I'm thinking in cities, I mean, at some point, everything was undeveloped and pasture.
Right.
But it had to get rezoned in order for them to go in there and make it a residential area, right?
Some of our worst areas, I say worst, some of them that are most impacted by what you're talking about, places that probably wouldn't even brought the city limits to the 1970s. Now, we've got other places that's been in the city limits for a long time as well, where there's, people just have big pieces of property and they, didn't subdivide it off, they just built the house and they got a pretty good size, for just example, our situation down there on Myrtle Street. That's probably a good example that I'll point out. That property's been there for a long time with nothing built on it. And it's just then people start putting goats and, cows in some cases and what have you. But some of these other issues that's just grown up into just, they're not using them for
Right.
cultivating anything, that's just grown up. So, yeah, you got a lot of different situations, points well taken about that, but something we can look at,
Just like the chicken houses on South Myrtle.
yeah. Just outside the city limits, just outside the city limits.
That ain't 25 feet.
Yeah. All right, any questions? I wanted, Rob to also, well, I guess he addressed what I was talking about all the lots on the list. Y'all got any questions on that? Now, we got 4 pieces of property still pending here. Item G3 is what I'm talking about right now. And I'm gonna kind of give Rob's report. He may have something he wants to add here, but I got out myself today. And again, he's been keeping up with them, but I got out myself today before this meeting tonight and just went to all 4 of those sites. Now, first, I'm gonna, you add what you want to, when I get through, and I won't be lengthy. There's lots of places out there that are even worse than some of these, okay? I'm not gonna tell you there's not. But these are 4 we've gotten complaints on, okay? Now, we had started back last year trying to go through street by street alphabetically. But we kept getting so many calls coming in from independent, and I didn't want to say, well, you're on street X and we'll get to you in about 4 years from now. I just didn't think that was right, so we've continued to take the complaints. And the first thing we try to do is, in our opinion, administratively, is it a violation of the law? You know what, whether it's grass, or whether it's dilapidated structure, or you know what, some of them are easy. Some of them are a little bit harder to, you know, say, does that cross the line or not? Most of them, you just look at them, you know they do, because the amount of junk or cars and everything, or even the condition of the houses, vacant in some cases, but ladies and gentlemen, a lot of these people live in. So, but anyway, let's just get to the point on these four that are listed here. 1007 Phillips Street. It's still in bad shape, and I think it's going backwards, regressing. There's been a good bit of work done. The pile of dirt's still there, and it's practically in the street. Some of it is. It's right on the edge. But there's still junk everywhere. I'm just reporting you like it is. You can go look at it yourself. 504 Rock Street. Now that one, like I say, there's worse, but that house is beginning to deteriorate, fall in. The front and backyards, and it's right amongst, you know, all a bunch of other residences. It's just not good. It needs cleaning up. Cloquet Street, y'all know the history on that. So, we were hoping that these people that were gonna buy the place and intended to come back, and, I think they picked up their paperwork to go through the effort to see if the planning commission would give them a waiver as the new owners. We've heard nothing.
Up until today.
Okay, excuse me.
And that was 15
I
minutes.
stand corrected.
No,
Give the report.
that was 15 minutes before the meeting, Mayor. It
Well,
was-
what did they tell you?
The owner, Hatley, has not heard anything from the person that picked up the packet at all.
And neither have we.
Neither have we, and the time's up, so utilities will be cut off at the house. He wants them off his property. So, and then he'll try to put the property up for sale and bring somebody else again in front of y'all.
There again,
That's the latest.
that's not something this council has to wait to prove.
No, you should not.
Because it's already in violation. Y'all were doing that to try to give him a chance to do something with it, get it in regulation.
Yeah, we're cutting utilities off tomorrow, so.
But the property's still sitting there.
So we can move on that tonight to go through.
Yes, ma'am. You can't, and then, the last one there, and that's what, Ms. Nisi spoke, about earlier, one of the things she talked about. I went out there myself today and looked at the property. If they're cutting hay off of that property, it don't show any signs of ever having been done. It's just a grown-up jungle. And grass primarily, just high grass and stuff. And I don't think you can require them to mow that once a week or anything like that, like the residents, but it could be bush hogged 2 or 3 times a year, and you would probably be okay and you'd be in compliance. Now, I think we've communicated with the owner of that property and report what he told you.
He would bush hog it once a year.
Once a year. So that's those 4. I've looked they're all legally violations of the law. And I think if we're gonna do this, we need to do it. Now, again, I know the first thing y'all get hit with is, well, look at this one down the street down here, it's 10 times worse, and that is true in some cases. But we can't get them all at one time, because y'all know how we have to do this. After we go through the last notifications, the taxpayers have to pay for having it cleaned up. Whether we hire somebody or whether we do it ourselves.
Did Mr. Reddick say when he will be able to push off it?
No, ma'am, he just said he would mow it one time this year.
One time this year, but no specific date.
Okay. Council members, you got, now I think the Phillips Street property had already been ordered cleaned up, if I wasn't mistaken, the Rock Street also.
Both of them.
But we kind of delayed because we were getting told they were trying to, get some things done. Now, this has been going on a while. Y'all know that, as has the Cloquette Street issue. And of course, we, fairly, not too long back on the one on Wright Street, but I'm telling you, it is legitimate. That's my opinion, but I'm telling you, I believe it's legitimate. And it wouldn't take all that much to go in there and bush hog it. It's not like it's a major, major undertaking or expense.
I mean, we could say quarterly, 4 times a year. You think?
I don't know if we legally got that authority, but I think if you just told him if he would do that, you'd be happy. That might get some progress.
Well, Rob's talking, what do you think, Rob?
I'm learning people will do the minimum they got to do.
So if we can't say.
I think you could try that. Tell him it's gotta be cut at least 4 times a year.
But then if he doesn't, then we condemn it, then what do we do?
You go in there and do it and send him the bill and throw liens on his property.
So,
Now,
Well, you throw liens on his property, he'll have to pay it at some point.
this was developed property at one time, though Bob Ferry lived on it at one time.
I think that's some around the corner.
That's Robert.
Yeah, it's part of this property.
Dead too,
Yeah, it is, okay. Well, but that's been a long time ago.
Yeah.
so we'll act on them, we can act on we need to act on each one individually.
Each one
right?
individually, and the first 2, A and B, you have already ordered those to be cleaned up, and but we've just reported, and y'all have said, well, let's give them a little more time, so it's time to, say yay or nay, or whatever y'all wanna say. Cloquette Street,
No, those 2.
Ms. Dorothy has her hand.
oh, I'm sorry, Miss Councilmember Henderson, you're recognized.
It's not in reference to the 4 that we just mentioned, but the situation where Shirley came in relating, the established junk area by her house, where are we on that? Is that
That's the
listed
southern,
somewhere?
the Tensterville side, that's the one, Mr. Mr. Wayne White, and there was 2 of them, 2 properties, Wiley Thomas, I believe, where are we on those?
The timeframe is almost up on the length of time to get it cleaned up, however, he did come get a petition to go in front of the planning commission to be rezoned. But that's not, one doesn't cancel out the other one. So the timeframe just hadn't run out for it to be brought up to get it, have it cleaned up. And he has not pursued, he hasn't went any farther with the rezone. He attempted to do it one time, but it wasn't advertised correctly. And, he's trying to get it redone. But, the complaint is still going forward, the time is just about up on the end, yes, ma'am.
You'll probably see that one next month.
Yes, ma'am. We kind of backed off of it, because we thought he was gonna come to the planning commission and go ahead and get started, but one doesn't, like I said, one doesn't cancel out.
Does that answer your question? All right, council members, here's the way I see it. City attorney sitting there, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but this is the way I see it. Phillip Street and Rock Street, we can move anytime we want to on that, unless y'all tell us to do something different.
Go ahead,
I move that can I do that?
Yes.
Well, you already done moved
I moved
them,
it.
just keep telling me, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Let's go ahead, I move that we, condemn one
Thought
zero.
that we should pursue on the.
Oh, that we move forward with the condemnation on 1007 Phillips Street.
And 504 Rock, you can do, if you wanna do that in one motion.
Okay, and 504 Rock
It's
Street.
already been condemned,
Let's move forward.
that we just go on with our business, no more delays, or,
No, we're gonna do something. With Hopewell, what do we do?
we'll talk about that after we vote on this.
Okay.
Did I get a second on that? I'm
Second.
sorry. Second,
Second.
Councilmember. We kind of Okay, all in favor, show of hands. I see six, did I see six?
Yes.
Okay, none, any opposed, okay, so that's, now, 113 Cloquet Street, is of course a different animal, because that's in violation being there, because the person that owns it was not the one that had the waiver to, have the mobile home there. So I believe on that one is something that we probably need to, Rob, we need to issue some kind of citation and
Or have it removed.
carry him to,
Remove it.
We can have it
Remove
removed.
it.
Remove it.
We can have it removed.
Remove it.
I move that we remove the structure on 113 Cloquet Street.
Second.
all right, I got a motion and a second.
Let's make this, we've been dealing with this for over 4 years. So,
I'm trying to figure out where we carry
I
it.
just don't want everybody to think, oh my God, we're 4 years.
And we're gonna bill him for the cost, okay? If we have to do that.
You can put it as illegal mobile home now. I've got one, I'll get into
Okay,
that
all
later.
right, let's just keep it simple right now, but I understand. All right, did I get a second on that? Again, okay, I'm sorry, jumping around too fast here. Is there any question or discussion on that motion dealing with 113 Cloquet Street? We'll notify him, we're fixing to do it, okay? But we'll still get on with it. All in favor, show of hands. Did I see six? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble seeing over my short body up here. All right, item D is the pasture out there at, I have people laughing at me at the audience for having said that, but anyway. The so-called pasture is referring to it. Do I hear a motion that we order it cut, and if it's not cut, we go cut it? Billy?
And what ordinance are we following?
Which one was that,
It's
Rob?
actually 936, I believe.
936?
That's the mower.
This deals with grass, this is, you're right, it's a little bit different than some of the others with structures and what have you, but all we're talking about here is having it cut.
But how did he jump already to the condemnation list if this is the first? Has this been on this list before? No. It's not
No,
on this list.
it's probably been reported, we were working, trying to get him to do something, but it hadn't been on the condemnation list.
You just sent a letter out in May?
We
First-
said the first part of the time's up, she flags them when they come back signing and flags.
Oh, he's okay.
Yeah, that was during our phase of trying to get voluntary compliance.
Okay.
Where we go to them first and say, hey, this needs to be done. And then, of course, that don't authorize us to do anything, we have to come back to you. So did I get a motion, or y'all still contemplating?
I think,
Yeah,
have the conversation first about the
We
push
have
off.
a section,
Go, let me,
homeowners,
yes,
Yes.
the
homeowners said that they would, the landowner stated they would not.
said they would mow it once a year when they saw fit. That was a verbal response, correct, Rob?
Correct.
Verbal response to our letter. Yes. So what I'm asking is y'all want to go ahead and order it done. In other words, you do it or we will, and then we'll bill you. That's where we are.
Is it up yet?
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Time's up.
What time is it?
Yeah, it's time for y'all to act or not, whatever you,
I think y'all at least have another conversation with them. Can you do it 4 times, like by July 1st?
well, what we would do is we would send him another letter once y'all order it condemned, and tell him that the city council has said this needs to be cut, and they are expecting you to do it, 3 or 4 times a year as needed. And, because all we can deal with, first of all, is the first cleanup, we'd have to come back and deal with it again. So, right now, yes, we can certainly include, that in the letter, but what we're gonna do is have to send him one where y'all condemned it, if you do this. And then we have to give him a certain number of days again.
Well, the
We
reason
get
I'm
that
asking
done.
that, how did we handle Myrtle Street?
We ordered it, Myrtle Street, he finally went in and cut the property. Of course, we had other issues there too, and still do, as a matter of fact, we're back
Okay.
working on
I
that
just wanna
again.
make sure we're being consistent.
I think-
Yeah,
I move that we, I guess, move forward with condemnation on,
order the property cleaned up.
Dorothy has a question.
I'm sorry, yes, ma'am, Alderman Henderson, council member.
Alderman Atkins kind of asked, what I wanted clarification on, because I was unclear as to what we actually asked the pastor owner to do. And then secondly, did we ask him to cut it, or did we ask him how often he cut it?
We had-
I missed that.
Answer that.
He was sent the ordinance, Ms. Garvey, Council Lady, Ms. Garvey,
What did you tell him in the letter?
to go in compliance with ordinance.
That he needed to cut it, just that he needed to cut it.
Okay, that he needed to cut the pasture.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but we didn't say anything about cutting it on a quarterly basis.
No,
or
no,
just cutting.
that's not in the ordinance, I mean, it's, if it grows back up again, you'd have to,
Well, the ordinance states,
Asking him to do something that's not in the ordinance, and you're asking the city council to more or less give directive to this pastor owner.
the ordinance says 10 inches, if it gets above 10 inches, it's gotta be cut.
did you hear that, Ms.
he
Dorothy?
said, it's in violation when it's 10 inches or higher. And I promise you it's well, but I think the city council can tell him anything y'all want to tell him. He may not comply with it, we may have to go back and deal with it again, but if you condemn it, and I use that word as ordering him to clean it up, you send him a letter, you tell him he's got so many days to do it, or we will do it, and that but we believe he needs to do it on a regular basis, and we suggest 3 to 4, times a year as necessary. He's probably not gonna do that, it'll come back to you again.
I think, that-
All we're dealing with, Ted, right now, it needs to be cut.
now, I think we should stick with the ordinance, just like we told them, you
Right.
mow it, this is the ordinance, it's not, we're gonna do it, and then when it gets 15 inches again, we'll send it to him, and then if he doesn't comply, then we'll move forward with whatever the next step is.
Basically, just be ordered to do it again, if you don't do it, then you cut it for him,
And send him the
and
bill.
send him the bill.
I think we need to go exactly what we did on Myrtle.
I got
We
you.
don't add anything about cutting it. It's gonna behoove him to cut it because he's not gonna have to pay what the city's gonna charge. I mean, I would think, you know,
There's nothing wrong with telling him it needs to be cut
right,
on a regular basis and suggesting that, but all you would really be ordering is right now, go cut it.
right. And if it's against the ordinance, no matter, I mean,
Right.
if it's residential, it's residential. No, I mean, it doesn't,
It is in the city limits, isn't it, Rob?
City limits.
Yeah, we checked that just to be sure.
I mean, so.
Okay, is everybody clear? What you would be doing right now is ordering him to go cut the site. And we can certainly,
Okay, cut the site, but I heard cut it 3 times.
that would be something that we tell him that needs to be done on a regular basis. We can't give him a number. But we can suggest he needs to do this, or he's gonna keep coming back to him.
And we need to be consistent and do the same thing for all similar situations. Or situations.
Well, I think we have,
And it just,
so far.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I said, well, that's what we've been trying to do on all of them, yes, be consistent. Now, I gotta be honest with you, every one of these situations is not exactly the same.
Right.
I mean, we don't go out there and measure their grass every time. There's a lot of people don't mow their yard more often enough in Warren that quite frankly, they probably in violation right now, even though it's not as, like what that is out there, but I guarantee you, I saw several day people living there that technically their grass is higher than 10 inches. They'll probably mow it at some point in time, and it don't become a complaint, but this one's grown up like bad.
I move that we send a letter to, Billy Reddick for not following ordinance number 936, asking him to mow his property, to keep ordinance within the ordinance. If it's not mowed, the city of Warren will mow it and send him the bill. As we've done with any other thing.
Motion seconded. You got the motion seconded. Okay. I don't wanna make it more complicated than it is, and I know it's hard sometimes, but trying to make sure we're doing everything exactly right, but I think that's what y'all talked about is the right way to do it. Question or discussion on the motion? All in favor, show of hands. 5-6. Okay, yes, unanimous, thank you. Okay, yes, sir, Mr. Topher.
Mr. Ernest Newton at the corner of Mona Lisa and Bel Air. He has two requests with the lot crossing. First of all, it's a secret tree, for lack of a better term, with some thorns on it, that's hanging out across the road.
Okay.
And somebody was injured with one of the limbs that's hanging out there that was sticking.
What's his location?
It's the corner of Mona Lisa and Bel Air. 501?
501?
Yes.
Okay.
And he wants, done that because all that's a hangover on that road, right there on that lot.
We got several places like that, trees are growing out over the roads.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran into some others like that, today.
And
Because
it's
all you gotta do is just let us know, those are maintenance issues on the
Yeah.
street, y'all just let us know.
And that
We'll
thorn tree
get that
that
on the
had,
list.
and he also said somebody was dumping right there in that ditch that floods.
All right. I need to check on the dumping, Rob, where he's talking about, see what's going on. All right, we took, okay, ready to move on?
I have one other area, and I don't know if it would come up as street department or if it's this one. It's on the corner of Etheridge and Pine, where facing the potlatch, where the grass grows up and you can't actually see to make a right turn. You know where the, water well is?
Guys, I can't hear, let's just one time, please, go ahead, Ms. Councilmember Henderson.
Okay, you missed all of it?
No, I got some of it, but you were still talking, I couldn't hear what you,
It's on Etheridge and Pine, where the road was closed off where the water well is, the grass grows up, and when you're making a right turn, you really can't see the.
North Etheridge and Pine, I got you, okay, where the wastewater pump station is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Who would be responsible for cutting that?
I don't know, I haven't looked to see exactly if it's road ditch or anything like that, it'd be the city. If it's assuming it's in the right of way, and I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's right there, if you go right, it's facing Potlatch, and then to your left, it's like grown up. Some
Okay.
people cut it, but it grows back really fast because of.
Okay. We probably need to spray it, and I'm trying to spray more of this stuff, because sometimes we cut this stuff, and 3 days later, it's already back up just like it was, but anytime y'all have something like that, you don't have to wait till the council meeting now, just call us and tell us, and we'll get it, in the works, but I'll make a note of that, we'll get on that too.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Sure. But y'all can call us anytime on any of these things, and if it's something we need to check into, we'll certainly do it. Okay, is that all you had, Councilmember Henderson,
Yes,
at this time? Okay. Street foreman, let me just, thank you, Rob. Mr. Hernsberger has got a little dose of what I had with a pinched nerve or something, and he was on a walker this morning. And had to go to the doctor, and I think they, I joked with him, they drugged him up real good and sent him home. He's supposed to check back in with us tomorrow, but if y'all got any questions on any street matter, we're spending most of our time right now trying to get everything ready for the Tomato Festival, you know, parade routes and running routes and, you know, it's just all that we tried to repaint. We did that ourselves this time, most of the downtown area, the parking places, and all, we did that with our own crews. We couldn't get anybody else in here to do it for us. So we saved a little money, but it did take some time. So, anyway, we've got that done. If y'all got any questions on any street matter, if I don't know it, I'll get an answer for you. And the street committee,
Okay, the only thing I have, I need to know when my committee can meet as soon as possible. So, give me a call and give me a date when we can meet.
okay, so you're trying to have a street committee
I want to
meeting.
have street committee, yes.
And we do need to move on with that so we can, for one thing, get our rescue money,
Yeah, we gotta get it.
spend what's left of that and so forth. Okay. That it, Councilmember Mosley?
Yes.
All right, I'm back to, Councilmember Marshall, Community Economic Development Committee, you're recognized.
Okay, we have several. We had a meeting on June the 4th at 5 p.m. It was myself, Alderman Henderson, and Alderman Frazier. We've got several things that we've been working on. We kind of moved some things on first on our industrial recruitment pertaining to the lot that's at the industrial park. We're working on finalizing a deal there. And the letter has been sent to the individuals and waiting for them to overlook the buy-sell agreement and get back with the mayor. Have you heard anything?
Not today.
Not today.
We were told that their lawyers would not be able until today to look at it, so I figure it's gonna be tomorrow or Wednesday, but they do have it.
Okay. Next, we have privacy fencing. We need to schedule a meeting. There are some new concerns and issues about that, so we'll schedule a meeting to finish talking about the privacy fence issues. Also, third on our list, we have the city property on Main Street. The mayor was waiting back for a response from the individual who was working with the county to help us on that lot, to get some ideas and suggestions.
Yes, ma'am. Well, yes, I have talked to them. No, I don't have anything new to tell, except they were anticipating coming back down here within the next 2 weeks after the Tomato Festival. These are is a consultant engineering firm, Lockerbie, I believe is their name. The gentleman's got roots here in Warren. They're working with the county already on these vacant lots on the square here, and they're doing it free gratis. So he told me he would do that for us too. So that's what we're doing.
And that's what we want to hear.
Yes.
Next, we talked about our LSI grant, and we're waiting to get some more updates and information on the coordinator with that. We were given a price, but we need to work on some other avenues as well. The cultural center update, there are several, issues that we've been talking about for a while. Some potential money, hopefully, but we're still trying to work on that. A lot of things that has to be done, so we're just trying to secure some grant funding to go with that as well.
Might I add, those two issues somewhat
Those
go
two issues
together. I
correlate
might
together.
just to tell you, I have been in touch with LSI. I've got a Zoom meeting with them in the morning, just me to, I've told them, you know, that first proposal they sent us wasn't gonna work. And they said they were gonna try to come up with something less costly and what they could do for us. Also, I've got a estimate, a more detailed estimate coming from a number of subcontractors locally about the cultural center. And when I get that information, I'm going to send it directly to, the Development District and Patricia Hargrove. I know that was mentioned by Councilmember Henderson. She's up to date on what's going on. She's waiting on that information so she knows what kind of money we're looking for and see what our options are, and is still committed to trying to help us. Just so y'all know what's going on there.
You know, that's a process that takes time, but we wanna make sure it's done correctly so that we can secure those funds. The depot kitchen, there's a lot of issues With the depot, we had a contractor, Clemens and Associates, who came down and looked and gave a very detailed report on some ideas and suggestions on things that need to be done at the depot before we start working on a kitchen. We know this was, the exterior work was done back somewhere around 2018. There's a lot of decking issues, a lot of deterioration, rotten wood decking along the platform, safety concerns. So at this time, we wanna authorize a recommendation for the mayor to go ahead and seek out some bids so that we can get these items done as far as flooring, plumbing, carpentry, and to utilize local individuals to get that done. Then we can work on, warming kitchen and look at some different things that need to be done there as well.
We'd like a vote to authorize us to go ahead and go out and get bids. I would need that from you to do that.
I know that we authorize the mayor to go ahead and seek proposal bids from individuals so we can get this contracting done, so we can move forward on this project.
Second.
All right, motion's made and seconded. Is there any other discussion? We're talking about bidding out the electricity, the plumbing, you know, we're not talking about a general contractor. We just come up with the plans that we've got and just get proposals on those individual things and question or discussion. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor, thank you.
Next, we have the old street shop. That's another issue that we've been talking about and trying to go ahead and get some things done. The mayor did have an environmentalist person come out to look and give us some estimates on what needs to be done so that we can move forward. And that's gonna be an estimate somewhere around $14,000. On the property, there's a hydraulic, lift, it is soil testing, oil and water separators, above ground tank, which is that fuel tank that's sitting there, they have to test it, as well as asbestos. So make a recommendation that we start, hack the mayor to go ahead and move forward with getting some bids, so we can have that part taken care of, and then we can go ahead and start utilizing the work we're getting.
Well, actually, we wouldn't have to get any bids, we would approve this environmental company. We're gonna do most of the work with stuff that we gotta lift out and move, we can do that. I just need you to approve me to go ahead and do it.
Okay,
They'll do all the soil samples and everything. This is a consulting work for the most part, not any construction work. We'll do all that.
okay. So I authorize the mayor to go ahead and move forward with getting that work done.
Second motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Any question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. Thank you.
Next, we have a very nice detailed report from Seth Wyatt, the individual who came down and he did we have the report here, with all his different graphs and studies. He spent a lot of time here in Warren, talking to different individuals, businesses, analyzing our city. And he did such a really good report, he should be commended on that. And I make the recommendation that this be put on the city's website, so everyone can see what he did as far as recommendations, and get a better view from someone else's perspective on the city of Warren. You should have that in your packet as well. And last on our list is time again, we're going to have our second employee recognition. So we're gonna go through the end of June, so those department heads can go ahead and start submitting names to the mayor, so we can come together and meet and select our second employee for the recognition for the city of Warren.
Thank
That
you, ma'am.
concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Marshall.
Mayor, did we do anything on that movement on PJ Biles?
His retirement,
You know, not that I know of, we talked about doing it, but I don't think, can somebody help me with the staff? Do y'all remember, I think,
as far as I
Teresa
remember,
was working
Rob
on
was
that,
gonna do
and
it
she's
with
kinda
Teresa.
got, you know, she's, by the way, been in the hospital, had some more stents. She's out We hope she'll be back shortly. We'll get back on that. I'm sorry, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that back up.
Secretary, she can go ahead and organize that.
Yeah, we'll get something going on that. Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, thank you, Councilmember Marshall. Councilmember Henderson, you got a little Ways and Means report?
I do, thank you. The Ways and Means Committee met on June the 4th at 4:30 in the municipal courtroom. There were 7 items that we addressed, and within your packet of information, you do have most of those items with working information. The first item listed is the property insurance. On the property insurance, if you'll recall during our last meeting, Mr. Roger George with Merchant and Planners came to us and shared information relating an assessment, monetary assessment and search charges. The committee chairperson asked the mayor to seek out detailed information from the Arkansas Municipal League as to what Mr. George referenced. And in your packet, you will see from the Arkansas Municipal League letterhead that actually starts out explaining that the property program is a risk management trust, not an insurance, and that the intent of the program is to cover insurable real estate and personal property. And then it goes on to mention the surcharge on page 3, page 2 of said document, and it gives a breakdown that I'm sure you have already read as to what the possible surcharge would be. I did touch bases with Mr. George today to let him know our findings from the Arkansas Municipal League as it relates to surcharges. I did tell him that when I was back in town that I would give him a copy of it, but I did read it to him so that he would not be blindsided. When we look at the actual document as it relates to the property insurance quotes that we received, the deadline for submitting quotes was April the 30th, and Merchant and Planners and the Arkansas Municipal League were the only 2 companies or businesses that submitted quotes, and the Merchant and Planners submitted $65,815.32 with various deductibles. But when we base the Merchant and Planners deductible compared to the Arkansas Municipal League, which was $46,035.91 with the $5,000 deductible, there was a difference in both of those quotes of $19,779.41. So I move that the City of Warren City Council authorize the Mayor Greg Reed to move forward with the Arkansas Municipal League to secure insurance for the City of Warren's property and other equipment.
Appropriate motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded. Councilmember Atkins. Any question or discussion on any of this? I know y'all been talking about it for a while, the committee has, but is there any question, anything you want to know? The motion is to sign up with Municipal League for our property insurance coverage. It will save money. All in favor, show of hands. I see 6 in favor. Thank y'all very much. Carry on.
The second item listed on the agenda is the Pennington property, and we are currently awaiting additional information. The administration is seeking
approve the, tenure bonuses, as council's done for several years now. Any question or discussion to the motion? All in favor, show of hands. 6 in favor. Thank you.
And I just want to remind the council that I think this is the, third year that the employees would have had that increase as it relates to the, tenure bonus. The next item that is listed is the, EDP, quote, which is there, I can still look at the cameras, I'm just gonna let you quickly give us a summary. And then
Okay.
I'll make the
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, council member. This deals with only the police department and the emergency services center building. We already have cameras down there. We've got a system there. It's been there quite some time. Was installed by our last IT provider when we changed IT provider. We own the system, so that's part of what they do is oversee it and run it. It's been giving us a lot of trouble. It's older and not quite up to current technology as much as it needs to be. The EDP, and that's our current IT, that's El Dorado Printing that's their IT division, has been trying to keep it going. They have suggested to us that we just simply need to replace it. This was a plan, wasn't budgeted, but that we need to do it because if it breaks down, they're not gonna be able to fix it, and we're gonna be out of business for, probably several weeks at least, and we can't afford that. So we need to go ahead and approve it. It's $14,311.50. Of course, their contract with us will continue to maintain it just like they've already been trying to do with the other one. I recommend that you approve it. I think it's that important.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayor, and the committee concurs with, the mayor's, recommendation, of moving forward with purchasing the, camera or system, from the quote that we have for the police department, and I move that we approve the $14,311.50.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. Everybody clear on what we're doing? You got a copy of it there, but if you like me, I'm trying to read it. I'm not sure I understand all of it, but I understand enough to know what it is, so we need to proceed. Question or discussion? All in favor, show of hands. See 6 in favor? Thank you.
And then the last item listed on our agenda is that the administration is recommending that we have a citywide, surveillance cameras so that, we can protect our property.
Breaking up on us a little bit there, council member.
Sounds like Max syndrome.
Council member Henderson, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, you're really breaking up. We can't even understand what you were saying there at the end.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can now.
Now,
Can now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Remember, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri, sorry. I moved that the city of Warren put out for quotes for citywide,
Second.
Okay, I got a motion and the second that we go out for bids. Now, this is a much more,
did you hear me?
I heard your motion. I heard your motion. Can you hear me?
And you, okay.
I heard your motion.
I can hear you.
I heard your motion to go out for bids.
Correct.
Okay, I got a second. So what this is everything to do just with the police department now. This is what we're looking at doing all over town.
Citywide.
Yes. And this is just to go out for bids. Any question or discussion?
Yes.
Okay. Any question or discussion? All right, all those in favor, show of hands. Got 6 in favor, thank you. I'm sorry, it may not be on some of y'all's agenda, because I thought we were gonna postpone that, but that's okay, it's fine. That's good, we're in good shape. Thank you, anything else?
That ends my report.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. This went longer than I meant for it to, and my fault, not y'all's. Go on here, reports, business boards and commission. You do have a recreation report from Kyle, and he is working tonight. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to say the city pool will open 100% by June 17th. I hope to have it open today, but the rain pushed me back. It was inspected and passed this morning, but now I've gotta have my in-service for my lifeguards.
Yes.
So after we may be open for like a soft opening, I guess, Thursday and Friday, but for sure, 1 to 5 on June 17th.
Okay, if you open earlier than that, if you would simply let us know,
We will.
we'll try to get some information out. I think you.
But like the rain just put us off, we had to repaint it, and boy, was it worth it, it looked so pretty. But, I wanted to have it open today, but the weather just rained too much.
They've done a remarkable job of getting it in runnable condition and looking better.
And covering the graffiti that was done in the
Yeah.
pool house, it really looks good.
And I've got people hitting me up, when's it gonna be open?
I
So,
know. I know,
particularly parents. that
I'm
want
sure.
to let their kids get out there. so.
but I gotta have my in-service before I just turn them loose.
Sure, sure. All right, you got that report, there's not a, see, planning commission, there is minutes of their last meeting. Aviation has not had one since y'all met last, water and sewer. You've got their commission, minutes of their last meeting, and also the, finances, all there for your perusal. Housing Authority has not met. Since the last meeting, Cultural Center, your reports there, these are all just informational reports. Unfinished business, nothing to act on there at this time. New business, we do need to get started on what we're gonna do in the downtown area. Obviously, this isn't gonna get done this week, but I mean, in the near future, where we removed all the trees and all that stuff on the main street and surrounding areas. And I'm gonna, without objection, I'm gonna assign this to the Community and Economic Development Committee. I've got some people that want to come and address the committee as to what they think we need to do and what we need to put back there and things like that. So if there's no objection, we'll just assign that to the committee and, let them at least go to work on it. Announcements, I think everybody's aware the Municipal League Convention actually starts Wednesday in Little Rock. We do have, I think, at least some council members going, and a couple, and maybe, and 3 or 4 of us from the staff. So we'll be attending all of that we can, trying to take part. Y'all all know the Tomato Festival is about to happen. Also, actually, it's done started. It started Saturday with some activities, but goes through next weekend. You might already notice, looks like the carnival's already moving in. It seems like they got to jump on it. That's all going, be aware of that. And then, we did want to just announce, Municipal Building will be closed June 19th. That is a holiday for the city. That's on a Wednesday, so we will not, run regular garbage routes. We will not be picking up garbage for our guys when they're at work. We'll get that day off. So, any other announcements? Am I forgetting anything that needs to be announced? You got the bills for the month of May.
We need to change the date of the next meeting.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Let's approve the bills. Yes, I'm glad.
Move that we pay bills.
Second.
Okay, I think, Councilmember Atkins said it in a second from, Ms. Pelfrey.
Also, the funeral services for Jerry Daniels will be
Let's
Thursday.
vote on this
I'm
and
sorry.
but we'll certainly make that aware. All in favor of paying the bills? Hands, I see 6 in favor. Now, go ahead. We'll
Oh,
announce
funeral
that.
services
Yes.
for, Jerry Daniels will be Thursday at 12 o'clock at Lumberjack Arena.
Okay, at the arena, 12 o'clock. Remember that. Okay, now the next city council meeting is set for, without y'all changing something, July the 8th. That's the council meeting. The agenda meeting was at fall on the 4th. So I think the recommendation's been that we have it on the 3rd. And we'll have everything we can have ready for you by then, and we may have to get you some stuff, copies, and we'll get as much as we can. That's very early in the month to get everything done, but we'll do our best. Is that okay with everybody? Any objection to having the agenda meeting on the 3rd? Still be 7 a.m. right here. And then the council meeting on the 8th. Okay, have I skipped anything? Have I failed to announce anything? All right, I appreciate y'all's work, council members. Y'all done a lot of work on a lot of things, and I'm just very grateful for it and all your labor and efforts and trying to do what's needed for the city, and I appreciate it very much. Councilmember Henderson, you still have our thoughts and prayers, you and your family, and I'm very appreciative again of you still taking time to take part in the meeting, and appreciate your dedication to do that. But if there's nothing else, I don't have to take a motion second anymore. We're adjourned.
Goodbye.
Take care, Rob.